You're watching Rules of the Game with Bill Krugh and Zach Farrell. Brought to you by these fine sponsors: Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, All Blaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Writer Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Spees Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Rules of the Game. I'm Joe Hurlbert, filling in for Zach Farrell, joined, as always, with referee Bill Krugh. Bill, glad to have you along.
Thanks, Joe.
Well, of course, the big talk last week, obviously, as far as the Rough Riders are concerned, and we'll talk about it here in Rules of the Game. It may be our entire show, but it was the free kick that took place. First of all, let me ask you this. You've been doing this a long time.
Yep.
Have you ever witnessed a free kick
I never
officiating?
have. I never have. I've never seen it at any level. Nope.
Really?
Nope.
So, but let me ask you this, because we got a lot of questions that
Great.
viewers have put in.
Great.
Does the rule book state if it's regarded as a field goal or, for statistic purposes, in the records as a free kick?
It is in the rule book as a field goal.
Okay.
You know, it's a free kick sitting up there, but after that fair catch and he kicks it through the uprights, it's considered a field goal. But statistic-wise, I don't think the rule book really cares on that. That's up to the statisticians. But in the rule book, it says, you know, if it goes through the uprights after a fair catch, it's a field goal.
And that was a 49-yarder by Brady Triplett. That is a school record as well.
Oh, I'm sure it is 49 yards.
Exactly. So let's go to it. We'll set this up. This here is the punt, and of course, it was a fair catch.
Okay.
So from that point, it's where the fair catch is.
Correct.
So now if that was to take place and he called a fair catch and he fumbled the ball and St. Mary's recovered, can they still do a free kick, or does it have to be caught cleanly?
No, if he muffs it and St. Mary's gets it, it's still a fair catch, an awarded fair catch. They would. Yep.
Where they recover the ball.
Yep.
That's interesting.
But you don't want to muff it.
No,
you don't want to take a chance.
No, you don't. So here's the free kick. And we'll watch this a few times.
Okay.
If you noticed when a free kick is established, of course this was kind of ironic because I don't think Defiance has ever seen this before, because they called timeout because they had no clue what they were supposed to do. Defensively, what is the defense's responsibility on a free kick?
It's exactly like it is on the opening kickoff of the game. I mean, it's a free kick. That's the opening kickoff of a game, or after a score, you know, when you're kicking off, it's a free kick, and that's what this is. The only difference is if it's after a fair catch and it goes through the uprights, it's 3 points. But at any other time, it's just a free kick. So St. Mary's could have kicked an onside kick. You know,
From this?
From this. It's a live play. It's a free kick, just like the opening kick of a game.
Now, who would have thought that?
I know.
I would. Now, if I ever see that in my lifetime, I will die.
And so you could. Okay. And another thing, this might be one of the questions that they ask, but okay, say they kick it, and anytime there's a penalty, a dead ball penalty, or a penalty where you're going to replay the down, they can change their mind
Okay.
Say they run a play. Say they run a play off of this, and Defiance was offsides. So you move it 5 yards. Now Coach Fry would have had the opportunity to say, okay, now we want a free kick.
Really?
He has his option if on a dead ball foul or a foul that is where you're going to replay the down, he can change his mind and free kick it.
Really?
And they'll put it anywhere in between the hash marks, anywhere that Coach Fry would have wanted it. They could have put it there, depending on his kicker. If he hooks it, he might want to move it to the left a little bit and angle. But yeah, there's different things on this, and this view right here. See, I think it's a free kick, so that referee's he should be back.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where the rest of them were.
Well, there's 2 under the goalpost.
Yep.
You see that, and then you see the head official there. Now, do you think the other oones are on the side?
Oh, they better be. It's a free kick, so that could, I said,
Yep.
One should be on the 40-yard line. The back judge should have been on the 40-yard line, handing the ball. The center judge should have been on the 50 on the home field, on the press box side. The line judge, or not the line judge, but the umpire would have been on the 50 on the other side. Well, here it's at the 49, so we're going to go to the 39. Is anybody on the 39-yard line? There's 2 on the 49-yard line.
Well, there's one down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I think there's one right in front of the
2,
sticks on the
3,
other side.
4, and 5, 6. So who's on the 39-yard line? No one. Can't be. No one. So what if he kicks an onside kick? Nobody's on the line to kick.
Well, who would have thought that?
But as officials, we don't see that very often. Like I say.
So let me ask you another question. That ball comes up short. Can the defense return it?
Not once it crosses the goal line.
Okay, but if he muffed it totally, it goes short, they can catch it at the 1. They can run it back.
Absolutely, it's a free kick. It's like it's.
And I guess from a special team standpoint, from especially the offense, they stood there. They were probably told, "Don't you move."
Yeah, I'm sure. And look, the defense isn't moving much.
No, they don't.
See.
So, and you may have answered this earlier. Can the defense cause a penalty on a free kick?
Sure. They could be offsides.
Okay.
You could have too many guys on the field.
Yeah. So if that would be the case, if there was too many men on the field, they assess the penalty, whatever that might be, and they can do the free kick again, which you alluded to earlier.
Yes. Yep. They can if the penalty causes a replay of the down, he can choose to kick it.
Right.
They get the yardage and the down, so it's still first down, and he can kick it.
And I think you alluded to this as well. One of the questions was, can that ball be placed anywhere on that line of scrimmage for the free kick?
From hash to hash.
Hash to hash.
Hash to hash.
Okay.
Yep.
I think we've touched base on pretty much all of them. The only one, this came from our friend Mark Sisko.
Okay.
And he immediately responded and told Zach, on a free kick, in our particular game, the clock ran.
Nope.
And he says, no, the clock was not supposed to run because it started out with 34 seconds, and then when they kicked off again, it went down to 31. So they did run the clock.
Nope. It's a free kick, just like the opening kickoff, until the receiving team touches the ball or the kicking team touches the ball beyond 10 yards.
This is another thing that he may have stated, and you can confirm. He said also, the bands are not supposed to play when the QB is calling signals. And here's something to look at. Check the snapper on the extra point. This might be another one that we're going to go into in a little bit, but check the snapper to see if he gets hit before he has a chance to protect himself. Okay. So I think that was something that Coach Fry had alluded to prior to us coming on. So we'll I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the penalties as far as the game is concerned. I think there was a very clean game by both teams. I think it was only 8 penalties called in the game. But we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll take a look at the clips.
Okay.
You're watching Rules of the Game with Bill Krugh and Zach Farrell. Brought to you by these fine sponsors: Ace Cuts, Albert Sporting Goods, Oglaze Equipment Rental, Buffalo Wild Wing, Capability, Salina Cycle Center, Eagle Loan Company of Salina, Eagle 767, FCA, Fowler's TV, Freedom Marketing Strategies, Grand Lake Roofing, Guarneri's Pub and Pizzeria, JT's Brew and Grill, Larry Schaff Auto Sales, MHS Alumni Foundation, Miller Funeral Homes, Minster Bank, Neck and Back Pain Relief Center, Plus One Professionals Real Estate, Writer Rooters, Roots Pub, St. Mary's Foundry, Sean Barnett Electrical, Speeds Chiropractic and Wellness Center, Spring Street Storage, TSC, and Varsity Lanes.
All righty, we'll welcome you back once again to Rules of the Game. Joe Hurlbert alongside Bill Krugh. And let's take a look, Bill, at some of the penalties that was called in the course of a ball game and get your opinion on them.
Okay.
This was the question that Zach kind of brought out. All the officials are wearing shorts.
Uh-huh.
If one wears shorts, they all wear shorts?
If one wears shorts, you all wear shorts. If one wears long sleeve, you all wear long sleeve.
You do?
Yep. You want to look uniform. Yep. You can wear shorts until you can wear them all year if you want. But the playoffs, you have to wear long pants.
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Our next clip. This was a blindside block. Get your opinion on this. Here it comes right there.
Yeah.
Blindside?
Blindside block.
Yep.
Now, if he would have put his hands out and extended them and just pushed him rather than blow him up. Look where his arms are. He's blocking. Boom, he blows him up.
Yep.
That's a blindside block. Now, if he would have put his hands on his shoulder, there on his shoulder, and just pushed him, he would have been fine.
Really?
It's a safety thing again,
Yep.
But he blew him up.
And if his head was on the front part,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Nope.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Nope.
Used to be your head had to be in front of
Yeah.
them in order.
Nope. It doesn't. That doesn't matter.
All right. This is a holding call on Defiance. I'm not sure exactly where that might have been, but it's a late flag that comes in. So I'm going to take a guess that it was
Right there.
maybe right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see a hold there. I just see him knocking him down. What do you see?
How about same thing? Yep.
It didn't look
And
like
it always befuddles me that it always seems to be that it's always the official that is like 20 yards down the field that throws the flag when you've got 3 of them standing within 8 yards of the play. It always kind of.
Sometimes.
But he gets obviously he has a different angle. He
Has a different angle, and sometimes you can be too close. Sometimes you can be too close, and remember the guy with the ball. Everybody in the stadium's watching the guy with the ball, except the 6 officials out there on the field. They're watching the head of it. They're watching off ball. Now these 2 wing guys, they're watching the ball because they need to know where he's going down, and if it's a fumble but everybody else is officiating off ball.
Yep.
And you got to watch these blocks. That's how these blocks get called because you're not watching the ball. You're watching.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And here's another block in the back. Right there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he pushed. He had his hands right in the middle of his back, pushing him away.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, see, look at that right there. Good stoppage right there. That's a perfect call.
Yep.
Yep. And it was outside. The ball was outside the free blocking zone, and yep, that was a block in the back.
I think this is one that should a penalty be called on this. I'm not really sure what we're looking at. Oh yeah, it was Trey Moore coming from behind.
Oh. For like pass interference, is that what we're looking at?
I think so. Yeah. So there, it was a good play. It was called incomplete. But if the ball and the defender get that to the receiver at the same time, it's good.
That's a good defensive play. Yeah. It says that he has to hit him before.
Yeah, exactly.
Contact has to be before the ball gets there. So, yeah, that was a good defensive play.
I think this is just another view of it, I believe.
And that's a tough call. That's a tough call to make.
Yeah, especially if you're behind the play. You just
Yeah,
And the official was right there, looking right at it. So he had a pretty good view, block in the back. But that wasn't called.
That wasn't called.
That was not called.
Okay, let's see if that is a block in the back. It's this guy right there.
That wasn't called.
Well, if he's made contact with him, and then he turns, he goes by him. If he's made contact on his shoulder, and you turn from him, but you can continue to make that contact, it's not a block in the back.
Yeah. So that's the last clips we got. So let's go back to the ones that were sent in. I think there are two different ones. One of them is it was stated that the bands cannot be playing when the quarterback is calling the signal.
Yeah, it's not. That's not supposed to happen, but that's an administrative.
Okay.
What would happen is if a coach would tell us, we would contact the administration and say, hey, they can't be doing that. Not while they're snapping the ball.
Right. Would that be a unsportsmanlike conduct, or would it be
if they wouldn't stop? Yeah, but
you would think they would have sense enough to stop.
We had the administration do it, and the band director got so angry he marched this band out of the stadium, and it was right at halftime, and they weren't saying very good things to us. The band was.
I bet they weren't.
but we made them stop. Well, the administration made them stop. We stopped because we don't have anything in it except they're not supposed to do it, but it was a pretty funny night there.
And we'll allude to this last question before we wrap up here. And I don't think we didn't see the clip on it, but on the snapper, the center for the extra point, he's allowed to protect himself.
Yeah.
But is there a time anywhere that he can be hit?
When he protects himself. If he snaps the ball and then he comes up and gets set to block, you can hit him. Once he can protect himself. If he snaps it and keeps his head down, then no, you can't hit him. But once he comes up to help block and he has his hands in a blocking position, yeah, you can hit him. Fair game. Yep.
And you cannot, when he stays down, you cannot cover him. I mean, a defender cannot lay on him, or can he?
No, he cannot. He's just like a holder, just like the kicker. You can't hit him. It's the exact same penalty as roughing the passer, roughing the kicker, roughing the holder, and roughing the snapper. Those are all the same penalty.
Really?
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Bill, thanks a lot for joining us this week on another edition of Rules of the Game. Where are you headed this Friday?
This Friday I'll be in St. Henry, the great city of St. Henry, playing Anna.
St. Henry.
Anna had a big win last week against Coldwater.
They did. And of course, a couple weeks back, St. Henry was in it against Marion.
Yes, they were. They're right in the game. So.
Yes, they were. So thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks
for having me. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Rules of the Game. Zach will be back with you next week. Until that time, so long, everyone.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.